Hello and welcome to my third tutorial video. In this video, I will be making the widget part of our blueprint. Let's go ahead and open that up. Now, I'll be adding some stuff like this grid panel, but it does not have to be a grid panel. You could add in a uniform grid panel if you wanted. All you got to make sure is the same as in the details panel would be bindings, and if it's a variable or not. Other than that, the rest is just to make it look good. So, I'm going to make this anchored to the top and size the content. Then inside that, I have one size box and two scale boxes. This will be our NPC talk box. So this is where all their talking will be. And inside our size box, we have a vertical box. And this vertical box, whoops, I put it in the scale, is a variable. So you want to click that and name it something like NPC holder, since it will hold all of our text. This scale box and this scale box are really just for looks, especially this one, because this holds the image that the NPC has. So if you don't even use images for your NPC, you really don't need this one. And this scale box has a button, which will be our next button, so you can continue the conversation if there's a lot of text for the NPC. And the button is a variable also. That's already a variable, okay. Call it like next arrow. And let's see. The image is also a variable, so we can set, okay, it's already an image. Name this. Okay, now, for the NPC box, we'll need to bind it, the visibility, so we can make it visible or invisible. And in the binding, we will need a new, Boolean variable called enable conversation. Now I have my variable set up into two categories because I also have the inventory widget on here. So I have inventory variables and conversation variables so they don't get mixed up. But you don't have to do that. Now drag this in and get a select. There we go. And make that. Oh, oops. Break. This will be. Okay, we got to drag off from here. There we go. Now, connect that. The first option will be collapsed, and the second, hit test invisible. So now, when we're not using it, it'll collapse itself so it doesn't take up any space and it can't be seen. But when we are, it'll make it so we can't click on it, but we can still see it. Oh, it needs to be self-hit test. There we go. Now, back in here, let's see, make sure we've gotten everything. Okay, so for my size boxes, I have the max desired height as 150, so it won't get really, really large, but it can still get really wide since there's no max width. Okay, let's set this up real quick. Let's see, two columns, and they are set to 0.5 and 1, respectively. There we go. Oh, make sure to make this collapsed or else it'll be seen when you play the end game. And I think that's got it for that. Make sure we got everything. Okay, yeah. So I already have a custom picture for my button, but if you don't have one, and you can just click on style, normal, and then image, make sure it's drawn as an image. And then I have my set to custom colors, so like blue, and then when it's hovered over, it'll change the arrow to red or green, whatever color I want. Try this again. There we go. And then when it's pressed, Same thing. We'll change it to color red. So now whenever you hover over it, it'll turn green. Regularly it's blue, and when you click on it, it'll turn red. So the red arrow, blue arrow, as you can see here, it'll show you a little of what it'll look like, a preview. Now that that's set up, make sure to compile, and I don't think we need to do anything with this. Nope, okay, make sure all of our padding and stuff's correct. Okay, so for the next arrow, make sure it's alignment set to vertical fill and horizontal fill. Same with the NPC holder. I think that's got it for this one. So next we'll add in the extra info, which will show us our money, and it will be a vertical box. Okay. So this is a variable. Let's call it extra info. Anchor it to the left and position 0, 0. Alignment, I have mine set to 1.35 and 2.35. Size 100 y 30. Okay, I have it sized to content, so it doesn't matter. And inside this, we will have a horizontal box. Wait, why is... I guess you really don't need it to be a vertical box, because it should actually be a horizontal box. That's a waste. Let's try this again. I have a little bit extra stuff in my original blueprint. That does not need to be there. Size to content, 1.35, 2.35, and collapse it. We'll fix that in a second after we add everything, make it a variable. And inside this, we'll add 2 text boxes. 1, 2. First one will be money. And make sure to align it to the left for horizontal. Okay, and set this money. We really don't need the dot on that. There. You don't need to really rename it either, but I did. For this one, we'll call it, put text as $0. And we'll need, see, does this need to be a variable? Nope. Put that over here. And this one will be bound. Create binding. And it will be set up by getting our character. Drag off of that and get, so I have a variable in here called gold already since I made my inventory. If you do not have that, you can just go in real quick, make a new int, and just call it gold or something, money. And so you'll drag off and get that. This will tell us how much money we have, and you'll be to text. Drag off here, format, and for the format, curly bracket. I call mine currency, curly bracket, and space, curly bracket, text. So this first one will show up as whatever currency you have. So like if you want to have a $sign, or maybe, I don't know, an asterisk for your currency, you could even set that to a variable if you wanted. I'll set that to $sign, and then drag this and put it in there. So now, whenever our gold gets updated in our character, it'll update it on screen to our widget blueprint. Okay. If you want, you can name these functions, but you don't have to. It's just easier to find them. I don't know if really you'll need these anymore once you set them up, but we'll just leave that one. Okay. So now that we have that, let's see. Okay, let's see. We need another vertical box. Drag it over there. Inside the vertical box will be text, scroll, and size box. Okay. Now let's name this by box. Have the visibility, create binding, make a new variable or boolean, call it enable by, drag it in here, select first option, collapsed second option, self-hit test invisible. Okay. And scroll box, set the size over here to fill. Okay. And this, yep, it's going to be our buy back. So it'll hold our back button. It is a variable. And height 150. Okay. Now, I make these a custom anchor. So you can go and do this, and then I have mine set to 10, 30. Let's get it approximate there, and then set the offset to zeros, and it'll fill it up. Okay. Okay, the scroll box needs to be a variable. Let's name it by scroll. If they're white, that means they have a name in their variable. Okay, so this is, oh, one quick thing. Make sure this is justified to the center, so it'll be centered. Unless, of course, you don't want it to be centered, then you don't have to do that. So let's copy this, paste it back in the canvas, since this is going to be our cell box. I think I just moved, yep, okay, there. So this will be here, cell, oh, I forgot to change that on the other one. Bye. Okay, so everything else should be the same except for the names. Let's rename these. Cell back. And cell scroll. Okay. Name this cell box. There. Oh, the anchors are okay. Whoosh. There. Okay. Now you can make those perfect, but for now, since it's just a video, I'm not gonna make it perfect. Okay, make sure I think it resets the bindings. Yeah. Okay, so get another binding since it has to be different. Anyways, make it new boolean enable cell. Unless, of course, you want both of them to activate at the same time, then you could just use the same boolean variable. And select. Connect to that. Collapsed. Hit test invisible. Okay. I'll make these collapsed real quick just in case. Compile. Okay, and we're done with those. Next we have the, okay, let's make the quest box. So this is going to be uniform grid panel, very top, size, I think it's set to, yeah, size to content. Inside this we'll have two text, second text, click the little down arrow, there we go, add twice, so I have a little space in between, and two vertical boxes, 1, 2, okay, this one plus over button, and the second one over, down, down. First text box will say limit main quest space, and second one secondary quests. Now, of course, you want like tertiary quests or something, you just gotta add another text box and another vertical box and everything else that comes with these, which we'll show later, like in the graph section. Okay, everything else, yep, okay. Now, on the vertical boxes, they need to be variables, so set that, emit the main queue holder, and vertical box over here, main, no, not main, secondary queue holder, there we go. So that's where our text will go for our quest. Okay, make sure to align them both to full. There. Okay. We can just name this real quick, like quest box. Okay. Now we're done with that. Let's add the last part. And it's a horizontal box. This will be where our character talks. Okay, so we'll call this character talk. And collapse it, bind it. If I can click the bind button, and okay, so just set it to the NPC box visibility because this is actually should be named enable conversation phase. Since they're both going to be activated at the same time, you can just bind them to the same thing, and you can name them whatever you want, of course. Now, in this character talk, we'll need a scale box. Inside the scale box will be our character image. Of course, if your character doesn't have an image, you don't want to have that. And then a scroll box. Oh, I just put that in the scale box. No, I didn't. Okay. Scroll box. This is where all of our options will go. Now, let's see. For the character image, set the two variables so we can change it. Character image, and wait a minute, did I just set the this does not need to be a variable. This needs to be a variable. Okay, I don't know why I clicked on the canvas. Let's try this again. Character image, oops, okay. Yep, okay, that's all we need to do for that. And for the character, this will need to be the character holder. Set that to a variable. Fill. Wait, is it fill? I think so. Yes, fill. And it should just fill the box up. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and quickly set the anchor. Like so. I align mine with the buy and sell boxes, but you really don't have to. I'm just going to do this real quick. And I think that's, let's check, buying, I think that's it. Yes, and that's it. Thank you for watching.